Okay, so a few things have changed in my household, and so hold on one second. I gotta scratch your nose. I'm trying to get yourself potato back in. So we did for a while only have one cat, Jax, and we wanted to get him a playmate, someone that would keep him company while we're gone. And I seen a little kind of like an ad type thing on an app of the town I live in that they had stray cats they were trying to find homes for. And I asked them how much for a cat. They said free. They just requested that we donate a bag of dried cat food so they can continue feeding the other stray cats. I'm like, okay, that works. We get there. We meet some of the cats. Not all of them, because the other strays did not want to come into the house. They preferred to stay outside. So they're somewhere in the backyard of this person's house where he found them. And the ones he had in the house, I got to meet them. And we met two of the ones roaming the living room. Then we met a kind of like a calico / tortoiseshell type cat that he had on the front porch, screened in. She was about to get fixed. And then we met another cat that was already fixed that he had in a spare bedroom he had. And she was updated on shots and everything. And we went and met her and found out that she was recovering from, I believe he said it was a snake bite. She was recovering from it. She got bit in her leg. He took her to the vet. They drained it and gave her medicine. And he gave us the supplies that he was given for her medicine. And when we met her, she was just so lovable and so sweet and very talkative. And we knew that she would be someone that would fit with our family. So we have her home now. Some other person tried adopting her, and apparently it wasn't a good match for them. For anyone out there who is becoming a first-time cat owner, I'm going to let you know now. If you don't want your animal on any of the furniture, the cat is not for you. Because cats do their own thing. And sitting on the furniture, sleeping on the furniture, that's what they do. And in my household, we don't have a problem with it. It doesn't bother us that they sleep on any of our furniture, get on the counters in the kitchen, and even sleep with us in the bed. I mean, that's what they do. That's what they're meant to do. That's what a cat does. And the woman who tried adopting this cat I have on my lap, she didn't like the idea of the cat being on any of the furniture. And I'm like, no, it wasn't a good match. So she gave it back to him, and he was trying to find her a home, and we ended up taking her. And that lady named her Luna. I don't know if she's attached to that name or not. He originally named her Gray because she's pure gray. No other color. She is just a dark gray. And she is currently laying on my lap watching a Bible movie with me. I have it on mute at the moment so I could make this video, but this is her. Say hi, sweeties. She doesn't look impressed in that, but she is lovable. She is a sweetheart. And so he was explaining how he found her. And he found her, and hi. She turned completely around to look at me. Hi, sweeties. He's a sweet girl. And he found her, and among a huge litter of kittens. in his backyard, hiding in his barn/garage type thing. It's like a shed type. He found them sometime last year, and he took them in. He's been raising them, feeding them, updated on shots, and got all of them fixed. He's only got one left to get fixed, and he had her quarantined away from the others. And one thing he told us is the entire litter of kittens that he found in his little shed that he raised himself, all of them girls. Every single one of them is a girl. Hello. She just keeps looking at me. She's so cute. And hold on 1 second. I've got allergies bothering my nose. Dropped the phone by accident, but that's her. She turned around to look at me. She is just the sweetest kitty. But she's around 9 to 10 months old. That's what he said. She's around that age bracket, and she's pretty much the same age as the one we have now, Jax. So they're the same age, give or take a couple of weeks, but they're about the same age. And but we met them, and this is the one that we ended up coming home with because she was the only one out of all the cats we were meeting that seemed to really want us. So, I mean, the one that wasn't fixed yet, she was acting like she was like she wanted us, but part of me thinks that the reason why she was acting so lovable is because she was possibly in heat. And when a cat is in heat, they're super lovable. So I didn't feel like she was the match for us. So when we met the cat I have on my lap, it felt like the right fit, and I'm like, she's it. And so we brought her home. Now she has met our cat we already have. She's met him. I mean, it's going to take some getting used to because she's not used to boy cats. She grew up in a litter of only girls. That's it. She's not used to a boy cat at all. So when she met him for the first time, she was curious, started sniffing him, but because they're not used to each other yet, they both started growling at each other. So we have them separated at the moment until they both get used to the idea of, well, he needs to get used to the idea of having another cat in the house, but for her, it's just getting her used to a boy. They're both fixed, so I don't have to worry about kittens or anything. So yeah, my husband says that he didn't have a problem with her name being Luna. I'm not set on that name. It might take me some time to get used to it and be okay with it. Personally, part of me would like to change it, but I will wait, see how things go. Sorry, I keep yawning. For some reason, I am just super tired. But, I slept very hard last night. I guess I was just full on exhausted because once I climbed into bed and I took my medicine. I take medicine at night to help with anxiety, and without my medication, I'm basically an insomniac. But I took it so I could sleep because of how exhausted I was, and I crashed hard. So, but anyway, the newest addition is the cat I just shown you. I can't remember if I've done a video about the fact that we adopted fish too. As you will see, the fish tank right there. That's been, I think we've had it almost a month. have to go back and look on my Facebook because I took pictures of the day we brought it home and put it on there. So I'll go back a couple of weeks and see what day that was. But I'm pretty sure we've had the fish tank for a month now, I think, or very close to it. But he wanted a fish tank with some fish. I have no memory growing up of ever having a fish or a fish tank, so I knew nothing about it. Now, I have memories of when I was like 12 or 13. I was at a lake when I was little, and I found a baby turtle that in my mind, I rescued it, but I'm not 100% sure if it just happened to accidentally get itself caught in the water and just trying to make it to dry land. I don't know. I was too young to understand what was going on, but in my mind, I rescued it because it was the water and the waves were so rough. It was literally doing this to the poor turtle, and it was just a tiny little bitty thing, and I felt bad for it. So I immediately scooped it up, and I ended up adopting the turtle. And of course, since I was 12 years old, I had just finished watching a Dr. Dolittle movie before I went to that lake, and in that movie, there was a bear called Archie. I liked the name for the bear, and so I named the turtle Archie. I remember that so well. I remember it like it was yesterday. And I remember when I had it, like once a week, I would take the turtle out, the rocks, everything. I would scrub the thing clean, like crystal clean. I made sure it was clean, and I put everything back in there. I cleaned him up with a little bit of Dawn dish soap and scrubbed his back and everything, got him clean and put him back in there, and I fed him. That is the only thing I remember taking care of other than dogs. And so when he got the fish tank, well, my first thought was, how is it going to work having a fish tank with fish and a cat? Because I've heard stories that you can't have both in the household at the same time, because the cat will find a way to get into the fish tank and the fish will be eaten. So that was one of my biggest concerns, because I didn't know how that was going to work. And he goes, it shouldn't be an issue. And he goes, because I've had fish before and a cat at the same time. And the only thing he did was sit on top of the fish tank watching the fish swim back and forth. He didn't have any issues. And I thought, okay, we'll see how it goes. We have 5 fish in there. We have 2 white, was it tundra or I don't remember the exact word. White skirt fish, that I do know. The third word started with a T. So, might have been tantra. I don't know. But there's 2 of those. And then I picked out 2 gold panda fish. Like, I wanted 2 of those. I didn't specifically point out the fish I wanted. I just said I wanted 2. He did the same thing. He also picked out an algae eater. I'm like, okay, I don't know anything about these fish. I picked out the gold ones because I thought that their tails being gold and it was shiny, I thought it was pretty. So I picked them out. They are in there. I feed them every morning. He showed me how to feed them and when to feed them. I feed them breakfast and I feed them dinner. Well, I think it was a week after we adopted the fish that I was curious as to how you would know who's a boy and who's a girl. So I looked it up, and it explained in detail with little images that the boy fish will have 2 little fins sticking out at the bottom of him underneath his tail, and the female fish will only have 1. So I looked in there, and I very closely looked at the 2 gold pandas, and I now know which one is a boy and which one's a girl. It was not planned for us to have a boy and girl. I didn't select the ones that were selected. I just told the lady who was pulling them out of the fish tank for me, I want 2 of that colored fish. So she grabbed me 2. We did not know at the timing until a week later that I ended up with a boy and a girl. Now, I did research on the 2 white skirt fish. Both are boys. So they're not going to be procreating or anything like that. And then the algae eater, I only have 1 of them, and I have no clue if that's a boy or girl. But I noticed after a couple of weeks that that the girl, her underbelly looked like it was swollen. And I'm thinking, I either am feeding you too much and you got fat, or you's pregnant. So I looked it up, like how to know if your female gold panda fish is possibly pregnant. And it gave out 3 signs. 2 of them fits her. The third one, not yet. The first one is a swollen, huge belly. I mean, her belly is so huge right now. She didn't look that way a week ago. A week ago, she was a tiny, skinny little fish. Now her belly is so bloated and huge, she looks like she's a 9-month-old pregnant female human who's about to give birth. And I noticed her belly was huge. And I'm thinking, well, there's sign number 1. Her belly looks like she's about to pop. She's huge. And the second sign of a female pregnant fish is they eat a lot. She normally only eats 1 or 2 pebbles. I sprayed like 5 of them in there. She inhaled all of them before the other fish could get to it. So I put a little bit more in there. The second time I put food in there, I didn't count how many pebbles it was. And she was just inhaling the food. And I'm thinking, you are hungry. And it said number 2, they're going to eat way more than they normally do. And I thought, okay, there's sign number 2. If she starts showing sign number 3, I'm going to see how long it takes before she lays her eggs. Because her belly is huge. She eats nonstop. I think the third one, I have to go back and look. But she does not want to be where the bright lights are. She used to not care about being around the bright lights. When I have it turned on right now, I have the light turned on so you can see them. When you turn it off, you can't see the fish. I turned it on so I could see them when I was feeding them this morning. And as soon as that light comes on, right after I feed her, she immediately goes to the bottom of the fish tank. There's a little thing right here where my finger's pointing. You'll see a little reddish dot there. It's like a little treasure chest type thing that we put in there thinking it would be cute for them to play with. There's a little hole in the back of it. She goes in there and she hides when the light is on. And if I'm not feeding them at that point in time, she goes. But right now you can see her floating around. The 2 of them. They're just swimming around in circles. But normally she's in that little red treasure chest hiding. Because it is the darkest spot there is when the light is on. And she won't come out. When she sees me pull out my phone to take a picture of her, she hides. I put the phone away, then she comes back out. I'm thinking, you're a smart fish. A pregnant woman don't want her picture taken. But we have that. And then I'm going to have to look up to find out if the algae eater is a female or male, because there's only 1 of that one, so I didn't really think anything of it. But because there's 2 of the white skirt and then 2 of the gold panda, I was curious as to which one was boy and girl. The white skirts, both are boys. The gold panda, 1 boy and 1 girl. So, waiting for that to happen. Someone made a comment, oh, you're going to have more kids. And I'm like, well, technically, if you really want to be in a technical term of it, I'm going to be a grandparent when my fish gives birth. It's just really funny to think about. But, yeah. So. I touched her and she meowed. Didn't you, sweeties? She trills at me every time I touch her. So. But. Anyways. That's the update on animals in my home. We were feeding some stray cats outside. It disappeared. The hubby thinks that animal control or a neighbor dumped them off somewhere because we haven't seen them for 3 to 4 days now. And they were here for the last 3 weeks getting fed by us. And I'm thinking, where'd the cats go? I look out there, because normally, first thing in the morning around 8, I get up and I will glance out the kitchen window and I will usually see them, one of them sitting there eating. And
come on, Jack.
They're missing now, so. She's home over here sleeping.